Okay, let's gamble. It is difficult. I mean, Scotty's basically 3-1. Rory's hovering 6.5, 6-1. That's pretty insane odds. Like Scotty, understandable. He's won this tournament 2 of 3 years. He should be the heavy favorite. It would shock nobody if like Scotty wins again, right? Rory never won this tournament. Honestly, never really played well and is getting treatment like he's Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson in their prime. But like, it's hard to argue based on the way he's playing. Like, what should his odds be? Like 15-1? Everyone would hammer that, including myself. 6.5, 6-1. It's like, because usually if you can get a guy like 12, 13-1, if you put $100, you win $1,200. Look at stock market. Try to 10x your money. It's an incredible feeling. I've done it a couple times. Golf gambling, it's why you're hooked for life. But 6-1, it's like, God, I remember last year I did it and it was 10-1, and you knew after round one, you're like, I might as well have just lit that money on fire. But those guys, heavy favorites and deservingly so. To me, the biggest lock of this tournament is Collin Morikawa top 10. You can get that at plus 130. So you bet $100, you win $130. Well, you win $230. If you bet $1,000, you win $2,300. Collin Morikawa has played this tournament 4 times in his career. 2021, T18, first time he ever played it. 22, 5th, 23, 10th. Last year, tied for 3rd. If he doesn't hit in the water on 11, who knows? Maybe he pushes Scotty and finishes solo second with ease. But this guy's played here 4 times. The only time he's finished out of 10th, he finished 18th, and he's clearly just an unreal player. Now, do I like him to win? That's been kind of an issue for Collin closing the deal. I don't see at plus 130 how he is an auto hammer to top 10. If you want to get aggressive, top 5, I wouldn't argue with you. But I think when it comes to not picking a winner, but picking a guy that you feel the most confident coming into this tournament that is going to finish relatively high, I don't see how you could bet against Collin Morikawa. Because unlike Scotty, like his odds to top 10 are not good, right? They're like minus 200. You can get Collin Morikawa at plus odds when he dominates in this tournament. Uh, it's my favorite bet on the board. Uh, I think this guy, listen, maybe I've watched all of his YouTubes, and there's not much to glean when he does the break 50 with Romo or Stafford or Brady because they're playing the red tees, and it's just a fun experience. I do think when you watch Bryson on YouTube play a course and just try to break the course record, you realize he is really good. Obviously, I mean he's one of the best players in the world, but you're watching him, you're like that baby draw, the power drives. He's a really good putter. He's good with his wedges. The first couple years playing this tournament were an utter disaster. In the last before last year, 22 and 23, he missed the cut. Now, unlike some of these other majors that have 140, 150 people, this tournament typically has like high 80s. I think this year it's like 96 or 97, which is a high number for the Masters. So when you bet a guy to top 10, they're not having to beat 140 other people. They honestly only have to beat, if there are 95 players here, 85 of them. So the numbers are way different and from a statistical standpoint because this field is much smaller. And because past champions get to play here for life. There are countless people in this tournament over 50 that have absolutely no shot. A lot of Freddie couples. Bernard Longer, who's actually made the cut here before, it's his last tournament ever. You get guys like, I think VJ Singh is injured or sick or something. He's not playing. But you get a lot of guys like that that are never going to win this tournament. So it's very unique that way. It's actually in a weird way harder to win like the Bay Hill against 150 people than this. Now, in theory, it's harder to win this because of the pressure and everything, but just in terms of the number of people you have to beat. So in 22 and 23, Bryson missed the cut and was kind of embarrassing because he claimed that this was a par 67 when it's actually not a par 67, and then he imploded. But last year, when I think he's really honed in on these, like, what I don't even quite understand what 3D irons are, but when you watch the drive, they say, I was in the car today, and Collin Morikawa pushed back against this. He's like, they say you need a draw to win. As a right-handed player, that's right to left, and as a left-handed player, Bubba, Phil, those guys have had a lot of success. They can play a cut. Well, Bryson plays a hardcore draw. Like, that's his shot. And that works here. And I think for whatever reason, whether it's people rooting for him, it's success on YouTube, last year, like he was legitimately in the mix to win this thing until he imploded on hole 13, which all of us would have as well. It was a weird shot. He chunked it, water, game over. He still finished T6. So you can get Bryson plus 160 to top 10. I actually think if you like him this week, which I understand if you don't, because if you tell me that he finishes like 50th or 40th or misses the cut, it turns out last year was an aberration. This course is always going to be hard. If you tell me he's in the mix, then I just go that Bryson before 2024 was just a different guy. This version of Bryson is going to be a factor here. Because we all agree, if you follow the sport, you go, I'd be stunned if Bryson isn't a major factor either in the US Open or the PGA Championship. I think we would have full agreement there. But this tournament can be somewhat of an outlier situation. I'm in the belief, and again, it could be YouTube influence watching him play a lot of golf because I don't watch a second of Live, even though he played really well. He was leading at Doral until the last day, which was, I guess, crazy ass wins. Didn't watch a second of that tournament either. But I'm in on Bryson. And I think top 10, honestly, I think 20 to 1 for of all the best players, Rory, Scotty, Morikawa, the Xander, the Rahms, like that group, he has the worst odds of the group. And he easily could have won two majors last year. Like, is John Rahm a better player than Bryson? Now, you can say John Rahm's more comfortable here. Not going to argue there. But you're either, like, to me, you got to pick a lane. And I wouldn't blame you if you go, I don't do Bryson at the Masters. Totally understand. I do. I'm in. I'm probably going to sprinkle a little. I mean, you put $25 on 20 to 1, you're winning $500. So it's pretty good odds for clearly one of the three or four best players in the world. I think this guy's interesting because you can get him plus 180 to top 10. I also think if you told me Justin Thomas wins a Masters, maybe not in 25, but over the course of his career, I think that's very believable. He was playing shitty golf for a while. Now he's not. He's having an excellent season. This place is giving him some fits, and I hear that a lot. Like, he doesn't play well here. And then I look, in 2020, weird year, they played in the fall. Even if you want to throw that away, he finished fourth the year DJ won. In normal years, 21, T21, 22, T8. The last couple years, cut. So it's like he has had success here. The last couple years, I mean, were a disaster. Last year, I think with that weather and he missed the cut, or it might have been 2 years ago, it was pretty bad. He's missed the cut in pretty bad fashion the last couple years, where he was inside the cut line. Definitely 2 years ago in bad weather. I think he finished like 4 straight bogeys or 3 straight bogeys. But I'm a believer in JT. He's a guy that I've won money on in the past. I don't know if he wins this tournament. Like, I wouldn't take him to win, but I think top 10 plus 180, pretty interesting. The fight for the jacket is on in Augusta. Get in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook. From the opening round through Championship Sunday, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with live betting, player props, and so much more. Have you never bet on golf before? Don't worry, I got you covered. I love it, and I do it all the time. You just have to pick a simple golfer to win the tourney and make your pick. It's that simple. They also got top 10s, top 20s, head-to-head, a lot of different options. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code JOHN. That's code JOHN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. I watched a lot of the Sunday when Viktor Hovland took out Justin Thomas, and it was a throwback a couple years ago when Viktor Hovland won the FedEx, won like $45 million in would have been 2023, and was kind of universally considered, like, right now when the season ended, no one was he wasn't technically the number one player in the world, but he was playing the best in the world. And the momentum he had going into the Ryder Cup, it was like Viktor Hovland is an unstoppable force. This guy is a lock to not just win a major, but to win multiple majors. Then it got weird, and now it's back. And when he won a couple weeks ago, he's like, I still am kind of guessing, but I'm starting to feel good. I was in the car today, and I listened to his press conference, ironically going to the PGA Superstore to get new grips because my grips were a little too big. I'd gotten new grips probably 3 or 4 months ago, And then I was like YouTubing some stuff. It's like, I think I got the wrong size grip. My hands aren't big enough for these oversized grips, and I'm hitting it weird, but that's a conversation for another day. Hovland in this press conference was like, he's pretty positive right now in his game. Not only did he find something a couple weeks ago, he just sounds like I'm betting on the vibes because he's been giving you vibes in early in the season when like I don't know what's going on. I'm terrible. Like this is not going well. And then he shoots 80. Maybe that win, the confidence that builds. Again, we're all human beings. When you're confident, you never think you're going to lose it. When you don't have it, you never think it's going to come back. Now that he got it back, who knows? Maybe he found something in his game. He's had success here. First time he ever played here, 2021, T21. He also played here as an amateur the year Tiger won it in 19, was a low am. In 22, T27, and in 23, when he was playing well, finished top 10, T7. Last year, he was kind of in the wilderness. He was cut. I'm a believer in Hovland. You can get him plus 260 to top 10. Listen, like I'm not a huge like take big flyers at the Masters. That's not usually what happens. Look at the last champions. It's been Scotties and Rahms and Dustin Johnsons and even Tiger. So it's a lot of the elites. This guy is an elite. He has just not been playing well. So you can get him 40 to 1 to win the Masters. Uh, listen, I think there's some value there. Him and Bryson are going to be guys that I take to straight up win at 40 to 1. That is really, really tasty. Another guy, it's weird. Like most people, I'm not consuming live. And his when you look at his live results, they've been all over the map. But here's the one thing you say about Ozzy Cam Smith. When he goes to Augusta, he plays extremely well. He has played this tournament 5 times. T2, T10, T3, T34, T6. This guy's game translates. Why? Second shot golf course. Good iron player, good long iron player, excellent short game. Uh, I think the live guys, beside the Phils and the Sergios and the Patrick Reeds, like the guys that have been here a million times and have won here, you just like you understand they can be a factor at any moment. Cam Smith is one of those guys. I don't care how bad or weird it looks on live. Look at his success here. You can get a top 10 at plus 360. That seems like some value there. And last but not least, on my betting card will be Will Zalatoris. He has a size, I don't know, 25 waist, and he hits it a mile. And maybe because his waist is so small, that messed up his back. And the only time that he's missed this tournament in the last 4 years, uh, he obviously just didn't play. But when he's played here, second, T6, T9. So if it wasn't for the back injury, which forced him to miss the tournament, he has played here 3 out of the last 4 years, and he's finished in the top 10 every single time. I heard the guys on the No Lane Up podcast mention that like a huge stat here. You know, a lot of courses these guys play, especially on like the regular rotation in the PGA Tour. These guys hit it so fucking far. I play with a buddy at TPC, Nate. His dad Bill also plays with us. Played the big leagues forever, and Bill can play. Nate can play too. Nate can hit it as far as anyone I've ever met. And when Nate connects with a drive, it goes like 330, 340 yards. I mean, he's flying it 315, 320. And I hit it decently far. I mean, every once in a while I can be kind of close to him, but if I mishit it, he can outdrive me by 60, 70 yards. If I'm 270, he can be like 340. It's like, is he in a different universe? Some of these shots that he's hit at TPC where they have the waste management are shots that I didn't even know existed beside when these guys play. So when you hit it really far, most of these tournaments, you're going driver wedge, driver 9 iron. What the Masters, some of these holes are driver 6 iron, driver 5 iron. And Zalatoris is an excellent long iron player. I think he's one of the highest rated. Solly and No Laying Up said like that's one of his best stats. And one thing, the other thing that he is, we talk about like the intangible shit that you can't really quantify. This guy's good in big tournaments. It's weird. He's got a little Koepka to him. He's like the light version of Koepka because he hasn't won a major. But like sometimes he'll play in random PGA events. It's like, why isn't this guy one of the best players? And he just kind of whatever, finished 17th or 24th. And then he goes to a major and he's third. It's like certain guys, it's like this in all sports. We all watch basketball, baseball, football, hockey, you name it. There's certain people that are just bright lights guys. And I feel like Zalatoris is. You can get Zalatoris to top 10 at 320, at plus 320. So $100, you win 420 bucks. I don't know, man. I just I don't see how you don't have any exposure on him. I have a hard time of knowing what to do with like John Rahm, Koepka, Xander. All those guys can win it. It wouldn't shock me if any get T5s or top 10s. I'm just not messing with them. Xander, the ribs, Brooks, a little out of sight, out of mind. And honestly, I don't know what to make of Rahm. I don't. If you told me that he's tied for the lead going into Sunday, I'd believe you. If you told me he's 40th going into Sunday, I'd believe you. So that's kind of a crew I don't really know what to do. And then there's just a lot of guys like I don't really mess with Spieth. I know he has a lot of success here. I just don't really do it. Maybe it's too much exposure to him in normal tournaments. Fleetwood's another guy. It's like, yeah, he could do well here. I don't really mess with Fleetwood anymore. Keegan Bradley is one guy. It's like he's had success here recently. I think a bunch of top 25s. He's a guy that's burned me in the past. So if you want a little exposure to him. Last but not least, before we get into the mailbag, there's a lot of talk, Patrick Reed, Sergio, like those guys could easily be factors this week. Because he's 54 years old, you that Phil's got no shot. Phil a couple years ago finished top 2. He has played in the Masters basically every year except once since 1995. That's 30 years. Over half that time, he has finished in the top 10. He has 16 top 10s. He has 12 top 5s and obviously has 3 wins. Just a couple years ago, he finished second. Now, I think the thing that makes this tournament so cool is you can be an older guy and compete. We just saw Tiger a couple years ago win the thing because mentally understanding where you can miss, where you can't, the comfortability around the greens here, and just the calmness you have of playing this tournament. I mean, Phil has played this tournament every year since 1995. And I think he's playing pretty well now. And he's another guy, like, I don't take much away when I watch him on YouTube, but like, he's legitimately played well in these live events against, like, whether we think they matter or they don't. At the end of the day, Phil is playing against Brooks, Rahm, Bryson, Cam Smith. Like, those are the guys he's trying to beat. And he's beat them a couple times. Last week, he was right there with Bryson, finished T6. Bryson was fifth. A couple weeks ago, I think Phil finished third. He is playing really well. Now, how that translates to the Masters or like PJ Tour tournaments, I'd have no clue. But in terms of Augusta, these 4 days, you can get some crazy odds. Now, I think it would be pretty. When he won at Kiowa, it's one of the greatest out of nowhere victories in the history of sports. But I don't think he can win. But he is 110 to 1. I don't think if you told me Phil finishes fifth or seventh, like top 20, I think it's a no-brainer bet. But top 10, you can get about 8 to 1. I might dabble a little bit. I listen, Sergio, Patrick Reed, like there are some other guys that I wouldn't blame you at all if you had exposure to. I think Phil, when it comes to long shots, and plus he's older, a guy that would not stun me at all if it's like, God, Phil's 3 back on Saturday. Like I definitely think it's a possibility.